When winter arrives in Pennsylvania, something familiar happens across the state. Towns slow down, lights go up, and traditions, some centuries old, come back to life. From the German-influenced countryside of eastern Pennsylvania to the industrial cities of the west, to small mountain towns tucked into Appalachia, the way Pennsylvanians celebrate Christmas and New Year tells a deeper story about culture, history, and community. Today, we're taking a journey across the Keystone State to see how those traditions connect us, past and present. Next stop, Geotransit King. Christmas in Pennsylvania begins with heritage. In southeastern Pennsylvania, especially in Lancaster, Berks, and Lehigh counties, many traditions come from the Pennsylvania Dutch, who are actually German-speaking settlers, who brought their customs, faith, and symbolism with them generations ago. One of the most recognizable symbols is the Christmas pyramid. These wooden structures use candle heat to spin carved figures representing light, warmth, and life during the darkest time of year. You'll find them in homes, churches, and town squares throughout the region. Another familiar sight is the Moravian Star, especially in and around Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, often called Christmas City, USA. Hanging outside homes and churches, the star represents guidance and hope, echoing the Star of Bethlehem. In Moravian communities, Christmas is marked by candlelight services and love feasts, where congregations share simple food and pass light from person to person. These traditions emphasize quality, peace, community rather than spectacle. Food also plays an equally important role. Christmas dinners across eastern Pennsylvania often feature roast meats, mashed potatoes, red cabbage or sauerkraut, and baked goods like shoe-fly pie and sugar cookies. These meals reflect Pennsylvania's agricultural roots, hearty, shared, and deeply tied to family. As we move west into Pennsylvania cities, Christmas begins to take on a more public and celebratory feel. In Philadelphia, the holidays are marked by Christmas markets modeled after German Weihnachtsmärkte. Wooden stalls line city squares selling ornaments, warm drinks, and seasonal food, while historic neighborhoods glow with lights and decorations. Philadelphia's Christmas season also builds anticipation for one of the state's most famous New Year's traditions, the Mummers, whose preparation begins long before January arrives. In Pittsburgh, Christmas reflects the city's immigrant past. Eastern European traditions remain strong, particularly among Polish, Slovak, and Ukrainian communities. Christmas Eve meals like Vigilia, along with pierogies and poppy seed desserts, bring families together before midnight services and celebrations. Beyond the cities, Christmas in rural and Appalachian Pennsylvania becomes quieter, but no less meaningful. Small towns host tree lightings, church pageants, and community dinners, often held at fire halls or local churches. Decorations are frequently handmade, wreaths, wooden ornaments, and crafts that reflect a tradition of self-reliance and neighborly connection. Across the state, Christmas in Pennsylvania is less about extravagance and more about community, doing what has always been done year after year. As Christmas fades, Pennsylvania shifts from reflection to celebration. Nowhere is more visible than in Philadelphia, where New Year's Day begins not quietly, but loudly, with the Mummers Parade. The Mummers Parade is one of the oldest continuous folk parades in the United States. Its roots stretch back to European masking traditions brought by working-class immigrants. Every January 1st, thousands of performers take to the street in elaborate costumes, competing in categories like string bands and fancy brigades. What makes the Mummers unique isn't just the spectacle, it's the dedication. Groups rehearse and design costumes year-round, turning the parade into a living tradition that defines Philadelphia's cultural identity. Elsewhere in Pennsylvania cities, New Year's Eve is marked by fireworks, concerts, and countdowns. In Pittsburgh, first night celebrations bring family downtown for music, art, and fireworks along the rivers. Cities like Harrisburg, Erie, and Scranton host their own versions, community-centered events that emphasize togetherness over excess. In rural Pennsylvania, New Year's traditions once again turn inward. Many families and communities gather at homes, churches, or fire halls to share meals and make the passing of time together. One tradition stands out across much of the state: Schweinefleisch and sauerkraut, or pork and sauerkraut, on New Year's Day. The meal symbolizes prosperity and progress. Pigs root forward, representing moving ahead, while cabbage is said to resemble wealth. Like many Pennsylvania traditions, it blends old European beliefs with local customs. What makes Pennsylvania's holiday traditions unique isn't any single event or symbol, it's how they reflect the state's diversity. German, Moravian, Eastern European, Appalachian, urban, and rural traditions all exist side by side. Together they form a cultural landscape shaped by migration, faith, and community. These traditions persist because they're practiced, not preserved in museums, but lived in homes, streets, and town squares every year. From candlelit churches and handmade decorations to city parades and fireworks, the holidays in Pennsylvania are a reminder that tradition isn't about the past, it's about continuity. And each winter, across the Keystone State, those traditions return, connecting generations, communities, and places. Have a happy holiday and a happy new year, everyone.